Good afternoon. This is Brian Leverage. Welcome to episode 3 of the Old Fashioned Real Estate Show. I'm here with Jeff Holst, my partner in Old Fashioned Management and Old Fashioned everything else. And
we're old-fashioned guys. What can we say?
we are. Yes.
Yeah.
I look older than him, although I would say...
Well, you actually are older than me. That's probably why you look older than me. I mean, I'm still in my early 40s. Yeah. You're in your mid-40s.
Yes.
Borderline late 40s, frankly.
Internally, probably. So, last episode was a little bit of a Q&A with myself. This time we're going to turn the tables, put the shoe on the other foot, and every other metaphor you can think of with Jeff here.
I'm really nervous about this, too. Brian is an interrogator of all interrogators.
Jeff doesn't like to talk about himself very much, so we're going to have to coax that out of him today, I suspect, with some very hard-hitting, impactful questions. And so why don't we just jump right into it. First, Jeff, tell me a bit about yourself.
My name is Jeff.
Okay, that was a bit.
Well, you said that it was hard to get
more
information.
than a tiny bit.
I'm sorry.
Elaborate.
Brian, you said that I don't like to talk about myself. I was trying to make you an honest sort of guy, but so yeah, I'm Jeff. Obviously, I'm the co-host of the insanely popular Old Fashioned Real Estate Show. We have at least 14 subscribers
teens
now.
Of listeners.
Yes, maybe even high teens of listeners by the time this episode comes out. We're optimistic though. So anyway, so I'm, what do you want to know about me? I mean, I'm pretty open about myself. I don't really keep, I don't keep too many secrets. I've done a lot of things in my life. I'm a lawyer by trade. So I went to law school. I have an MBA. I've taken some classes at Harvard in real estate investing and real estate management. And I just love real estate. That's what I think about. That's what I do. Okay.
So that was a little bit more than just Jeff. So we appreciate that, as I'm sure the audience does. You just said at the end, though, you're obviously interested in real estate. That is, after all, why we're here. But let's get a little more
I'm
detail
here for the drinks, actually. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
That's what keeps you coming back, at least. Absolutely. So,
but if you haven't poured a drink yet, you really should, because this is about to get epic.
Why real estate?
So how about this? I'm going to start with, I'm going to take a little different spin on that. I'm going to start with how I got interested in real estate. Because why real estate? The answers I think are the same for everyone. They're personal, but they're, financial and sort of the freedom that it brings. But, there are other ways to make money. There are other ways to get involved and have a positive impact on the world. But for me, it started when I was like 13 or 14 years old. I was sneaking out of my bedroom and watching late night television. And I saw Carlton Sheets on TV. Do you remember Carlton Sheets?
I was nervous where that was going for just a brief second.
Nope, Carlton Sheets. I don't talk about some of that other stuff, but Carlton Sheets was a late night infomercial guy who sold a show called the No Money Down Real Estate Investing or something like that. And but what I think attracted me to the show originally wasn't the real estate. It was the fact that there was all these people that were like in their 20s, 30s, maybe early 40s, like sitting around a pool in Florida, talking about how they were millionaires, and I thought that sounded pretty freaking great, actually. Yeah. So that's the why I got
even
into
if it
real
was
estate.
staged.
Oh, for sure. Knowing what I know now, I think that most of that probably wasn't exactly accurate. It turns out, and this is going to be a little controversial. It turns out that while real estate investing isn't insanely hard, it's also not insanely easy. And I think that some of those late night TV show guys and some of the other shows out there make it sound a lot easier than it is. But it is something that anyone can do if they're interested in it. And that's another thing I really love about real estate is that people can get involved at almost any level. If you're a person that has a lot of time, you can go out and study deals and find deals and put together sort of complicated transactions. If you're a person that's just they've got some money and they don't know what to do with it, they can find people to partner with and make real solid real estate returns. And I just love it. And I mean, it's the store of wealth for the majority of the wealthy people in the world. So that's the real reason why I'm in real estate, is because it's just so diverse and so interesting, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, pretty good answer, I'd say.
Well, I mean, it's not quite as good as Jeff. But, hey, whatever, right?
He digresses from time to time. So, obviously you're a fan of real estate. Tell us a little bit about your experience and what you've accomplished to date.
Well, I mean, my biggest accomplishment is being the co-host of the Old Fashioned Real Estate Show.
Meeting me.
And meeting Brian. I started out in college. I did, sort of like, I had a house and I rented out a couple of rooms to, roommates, and I think my payment was like $400 a month, and I was collecting $300 from one roommate, and then I had another roommate living in the basement that was paying me $150, so I was getting $450 a month, and my mortgage was $400 a month, and I thought it was just freaking great, actually. So that was my starting point in real estate. Since then, I've always, frankly, it took me quite a while after that before I started making sort of active investments in real estate. But when I was in college, I had a friend in law school that was paying for law school by flipping houses, and I thought, man, I gotta hang out with that guy. So I did, and he's still one of my great friends and business partners today. And together we own probably about 100 units of apartments and some single family homes and stuff like that. And then recently I've been also, that's mostly in Michigan, and recently I've been, expanding to other markets. We've got stuff in Chattanooga and Georgia now, and it's just been really exciting to, sort of grow from there. So we've commercial and residential properties now.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm sure that growth has fueled a lot of personal things for you, because it's not just about the business side of things, as we know. So, tell us a little bit more about Jeff.
Well, okay, so the thing about me is that I have this vision that, and this is gonna sound a little hokey, so I don't even know if I've ever told you this, Brian, but I kind of feel that like the measure of success in life is to be like an old guy at a bar somewhere and have like the young guy next to you, like listening to your stories and being like, wow, you've had a really great life. Like if you can be the old guy at the bar, and you can have good stories about what you did in your life, and you can feel really proud about your accomplishments, then you've done something right. So I try to live my life by that standard of like, how I'm gonna be the old guy at the bar with good stories. Mm-hmm. So that means I do things like travel and and write stuff. Like I wrote a book on bankruptcy, which y'all shouldn't go buy because it's not that good, frankly. But it is on Amazon, so you can get it if you want. I just do, whatever sounds interesting. I have a patent. I don't know if you knew that about me, but I'm actually an inventor recognized by the U.S. government. So, so I just do stuff like that because it's exciting. I've traveled to about 35 countries now in
Impressive.
6 continents, all 50 U.S. states. And that's part of my, I have this goal. I call it the 50-50-50 goal, which is like I want to go to all 50 states and 50 countries before I turn 50. So that's the kind of stuff that I do. And frankly, that stuff sort of meshes together with real estate, because if you want to get out and like have the freedom to live the best version of your life that you possibly can, you need to figure out some way to achieve some level of financial freedom. And real estate's really allowed me to do that. I mean, I don't have a regular full-time job. I just do real estate. I don't have to practice law. I don't have to punch a time clock, and it's a pretty great life, frankly. I mean, it's a good way to live.
No disagreement there. So now we'll get into the question that we ask every single episode, which is to say this is the second time ever it's been asked.
Well, a point of clarification. Not every episode, only every episode where we're interviewing someone.
Yes.
Because if we asked it in an episode where we weren't interviewing people, it'd be weird. Because we'd be asking you guys what you think about this very important topic.
And you can give us your feedback at our website, again, oldfashionedrealestate.com, whether you prefer orange, which is the only way to make it, cherry, or both. But Jeff, you have the floor.
I do. So in the question, because Brian wasn't super clear about this, is whether you prefer orange, cherry, or both in your old fashions.
Yes.
It's not just like, do you like oranges? Because I like oranges. I want to be clear about this. I really enjoy an orange from time to time. And I do have an orange peel in my old fashioned right now. And the reason for that is because Brian made it.
Yes.
And Brian is a big fan of oranges. But I also, you can't probably see it, but there's a Luxardo cherry in there, which if you're going to get cherries, that's the way to do it. So I make my old fashions at home without oranges. Actually, I make it with just the cherry, and I usually put 2 in because I'm a glutton for that sweetness of the cherry.
So there you have it, folks. You can see that while we have many aligned interests, that clearly we diverge on the best way to make an old fashioned. But we want to thank you again for your time. We'll look forward to seeing you on our next episode. Thanks much.
Thanks, appreciate it.